What is up, y'all? It is Grant with the other episode of the Groovy Files, and I got my other main man with me, Jay Trent.
What's good?
And today we'll be talking about the critically acclaimed mixtape by the one and only Future Hendrix. We will be talking about Monster and what his impact is on the rap game and some of our favorite songs, and also what this meant for Future's career. So first off, I want to say, like, after coming off Honest, I would say Future. I feel like Future's sound kind of changed, like, a little bit after when Free Band Gang the movie came out. Like the song with Chosen went on it with Rocco, and then when Honest came out, I didn't love that album. But what I will say, there were some songs that kind of really hinted at the shift, at the gear that Future was gonna hit next. Like, for example, like Shit on that album, like Shit is a great song. I fucking love that song. Like, this, like, if I come back to that song the most off Honest. The one with Andre 3000 on it, I cannot remember the name of it.
That's Ben's Friends.
Yes, I love that song too. Hey, I am a move that dope apologist. Sorry, I like that song.
That's a good song, bro.
It just when Pharrell come in with his Smokey the Bear vibes, I don't like this shit.
Really?
It's okay, but it's like me and Pusha T trying to respirator or something like that. I can't rock with it all the way, but like I respect the artistic decision. I honestly felt like, for real, if he had like a new age duo in terms of like to put on songs with rapping, I love him at ASAP. But when Monster came out, I think I was going to my senior year of high school, and I wasn't super locked in the Future, but I feel like this was the album that, like, not the album, this was the mixtape that all kind of like clicked for me. Like, this shit got, I say this is Metro Boomin coming out party in terms of like how talented he was as well. Like, like Metro Boomin on this album. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to say album, but you know what I mean.
Call it like it is. Call it like it is. I get it though. It's a mixtape, but it's album quality.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, I feel like it marked sort of a transitioning period for Future. Like, I feel like starting with Monster and going into Beast Mode and 56 Nights, I felt like his sound got a lot darker. Like, on the whole.
Not just darker, but I feel like the beats he had on this album were like, it was the beginning of a new age for like rap beats to me, specifically for Atlanta. Like, from 2014 to 2015, I feel like it hit like a whole different year. Now with you starting off an album, like, there's so many all-time like great like songs on this album. Like, for instance, like, one thing I'm gonna say about Future is like he's one of the only people I know that coined a nickname for himself and it stuck like glue. Like, that's kind of hard. Like, you know, like Future Hendrix, what am I thinking? Where am I? What are some other ones? I'm missing some. I know Future Hendrix being one of them.
Other than Pluto, because he
Pluto.
I'm drawing a blank, but I know it's
it's a lot, man. But I say this, bro. Like, the way Future kind of like, he's like the ultimate. I feel like he's like one of the most ultimate case studies when it comes to like rapper producer chemistry and everything like that. Because like Future if you really see it, Future has classic tier bodies of work with both Metro Boomin and Zaytoven, and like, and that's like a sign of greatness. Like, of course, like everybody can make like, I guess not even everybody, but having one classic album is like one thing, or classic project is one thing, but like having multiple is kind of crazy because like it kind of shows that you're not really like a flash in the pan in a sense, even though you have a classic, like even though you have some classic to your work, it's like, damn, I did this without the same set of, without the same environment I was in before. And like, that pretty much like, to me, like, that's definitely like all, like, I know people on Twitter kind of going to like super hyperbole when talking about Future, but like, let's call it what it is. Like, that's an all-time great run from 20,
yeah, that
you can call literally every single mixtape that dropped from Monster to leading up to DS2 and then DS2. You can call all four of those projects classic tier projects.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not the highest on, even though I think 56 Nights is great, I just don't think it's as highly of it as the others I said. But it's still great. But shit. And then like the art of like, I know we talk about like in kind of like a corny way, but like the art of quotables and like quotable lines and being catchy and everything like that, that is a skill. Like, and I'm gonna use this comparison. Like, Future reminds me of Project Pat and Andre 3000 a little bit. I know that comparison is left field as fuck, but the Andre comparison,
I'm gonna let you rock. Keep going.
The Andre 3000 comparison is obvious because he's a Dungeon Family project. But Project Pat, for instance, he was really, really big on like catchy cadences on top of bars to go with them. So, and when we talk about those two rappers, like we always talk about how much quotable stuff they have, like their euphemisms and all that other shit. And like I feel like Future is like one of those people where like he mixes cadence and his bars so well to make it like ingrained in your mind, the quotable.
Yeah, I feel like he's kind of mastered using your voice as an instrument. It almost, the song feels empty without his vocals on there, if that makes sense.
Say it one more time.
I said he's mastered using his voice as an instrument to the point where the song kind of feels empty without his vocals on it. It's just like it's so essential to the central sound of the project.
Yeah. It's like he's such a unique rapper in terms of like having it all, like shaking box. I'll say this, like Future to me is like the only thing missing in Future's career to me is like, and I never really expected him to, he never hit like that other gear in terms of like stardom to me, in terms of like sales and everything like that, like the other superstars, but that's okay because he's like one of the only rap legends to me that I feel like is really only missing like one thing and like just hitting that other gear in terms of like stardom. But not everybody can do that because like in terms of like the skill set, everything like that, he has all that, and like you can't. He is such a student of the game. Like I know a lot of people talk about how like Future is so great and everything like that, but like he's literally this shit did not just happen out like overnight. He is literally a student of the game. Like you can clearly tell he is a dungeon friendly product.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it's like I know we're gonna get more into it later, talking about his impact, but it's just like it comes back to, like you said, being a dungeon family product. Under 3000 told him that he was the future of hip hop, and that led to the name change. And I feel like
From me,
right. So Andre told him he was the future of hip hop, and he kind of leaned all the way into that, and it kind of actually not kind of it shows. Like you hear like his fingerprints on everything, like his DNA is everywhere.
like when we talk about like when niggas talk about like for instance like Fonte, I guess like in terms of like how he kind of impacted everybody, like start adding a singing element to his music in a sense. I feel like that's Future. I feel like you can make that our same case for Future. When niggas wanted to do like when we have all these new guys like kind of like doing like the sad harmonizing rap and everything like that, you have to give Future credit for that. Even if Future's wasn't necessarily sad. Some of it wasn't, some of it was, but like I feel like you have to give credit for that. And other things of that nature, like just and his like delivery is like it's honestly unreal. But I'm trying to figure out how to word this shit, man. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do. I get what you're saying.
But like with Future, his relationship, like he's like the importance of being a student of the game on top of the importance of rapper and producer relationships and everything like that. He is like he is like the how-to guide on how to build relationships with the producer. Cause like it matters. Like, for instance, like I can't ever envision, honestly say this, I still think that I think Future is the best that I don't think a rapper will ever work with Metro Boomin as well as Future. I still think
that's a perfect pairing. I mean, and it starts with Monster. Like he Metro was I don't know if you call him the executive producer for this, but I mean they molded this sound together, and it's something that you still hear artists draw from.
Like Future is like for instance, like we kind of like you can argue, man. Like I ain't gonna lie to you, you can argue that nigga. You can argue that. What was I gonna say, bro? You can argue that he helped popularize. You can argue that he made rapper producer collabs more popular. Like one producer project. I ain't saying like one producer. Yes, one producer projects. Or like the importance of. I ain't say he made it like he created it anything like that. But I feel like he had impact because when you listen to Monster, you think of Metro Boomin. When you listen to Beast Mode, you think of Zaytoven. When you listen to DS2, you listen to both of them. And like I feel like you can definitely make that argument. I'm not saying he like created it though, but you can make that argument. Like, for instance, let me read off this. Because you got Fetty on here, you have Monster, the title track. Wesley Presley, Mad Love, everything like that. And I feel like this is much more. This is as much as it is a future highlight reel. This mixtape is a producer highlight reel because every single one of these people on this mixtape producing is somebody that you could go and look at their beats and like, hey, there's some all-time great beats from every single person on this damn project. Like for that specific subgenre of rap, like the Tupac beat is one of the hardest beats I ever heard.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one.
Is it My Savages, like Gangland, like I hate to use this, but like, come on, man. Like, what we doing here, bro? What we doing here?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So my question is, in terms of what is besides Codeine Crazy, which is probably like one of the more important tracks for Future's career, like going forward, like I feel like the parallel between Codeine Crazy and can you hear me?
Yeah.
I feel like the parallel between Codeine Crazy and the Percocet and Stripper Joint is like very, very close because they kind of like hint at that potential Future had in like expanding his sound a little bit.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Like, yeah, no, I agree because it expounds on the like Monster has a darker tone than stuff like Streets Calling and the first Dirty Sprite and all of that. And I feel like that sound where he gets more, where it is more melodic and it's I don't know how to word it exactly, but I feel like he kind of just he is more I feel like he's more transparent on songs like that.
I agree. Like
he's like, and I can put a song like Throwaway in there too. Like he's more transparent about where he's headed and how he copes with different issues. Like you can hear both of those and then hear it as a precursor to a song like Temptation that was on The Wizard. Like, yeah, like you can like he's more open about what his vices are and the reason he turns to them.
Like Hendrix, for instance, like it's a lot I can say, but like I can't really put it into words sometimes. But like with Future, he's a definition of like what you would want in like a generational act. Like, for example, like, and then like his kind of like other tier of like stardom kind of started with that whole stretch because like because I remember, I'll tell you this, like I remember listening to like Same Damn Time before like in 2011 and I was like, hey, this dude can be like really do something. And then like I kind of like as the years went on, I was kind of like, okay, this is kind of getting dude kind of feeling stingy or all this stuff like that. And like I hate to be like, I was never one of those Future fans that was like, yeah, man, I know this nigga from the day he started making music, man. Y'all fake fans, all this stuff. Like, I don't fault anybody for not like getting into
being late to the party. Yeah,
like I really don't. But like his earlier stuff is definitely great though. Like Streets Calling, like Easter Pink, uh, deeper than the ocean, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But I would say this: if you had to give me the top 5 definitive Future tracks, I think I'm gonna have to go with Codeine Crazy. Well, let me say these are not what I think are his best. I think the definitive Future tracks. I think Codeine Crazy, March, 56 Nights. I'm not putting Mark Fans in there. Codeine Crazy, 56 Nights. My Savages. I Served the Bass. Thought it was a drought. And then Monster. For definitive, not like definitive, like most popular, wherever you want to wear it. But like if I had to do best, I'm personally going with Gangland, Tupac, Colossal, Tricks on Me, and then Use Me off of Hendrix. But there's so much more I could put. And then you got it's very hard. Like you got Festive Sweet, you got all these, man, you got so many to put. It's just unfair.
Yeah, I gotta this is difficult. Let's see. So I'm going with I'm not gonna do my favorites right now, what I think his best are. I'm gonna go by what you said, what the 5 quintessential Future songs are. So starting with Monster, I'm definitely going with Codeine Crazy. It's not my favorite song on the mixtape or anything.
It's not mine.
But I do feel like that's central to his persona, if that makes sense.
Oh, it definitely is.
So I'm going with Codeine Crazy. I'm gonna go with the Percocet and Stripper joint. I'm gonna go Feds Did a Sweep. I'm gonna say Throwaway. And I'm gonna go with Layup. Because I'm trying to cover all the bases.
Those are great too.
So those are my 5. I'm trying to cover all the bases because he's a wide ranging artist. Like he covers a lot. So it's kind of hard to do that with just 5 songs to try to sum up an artist as multifaceted as he is. But that's what I'm gonna go with.
Yeah, man, but like Future, he is one of the best dual threats we have ever seen in hip hop. Like in terms of like rapping and singing. Now I'm fine with saying that. Somebody who has reinvented or like expand on their core sound like almost with every project, and like it's very hard to do because like there are very few artists that can create something completely new each album. And I feel like Future strikes the medium between both. Like he doesn't really recreate he doesn't really, in terms of like content, he doesn't really do anything too left field of what he's already done, but the sound of it is always different.
Right.
Versus
right.
A lot of people can't do that. Like a lot of people can't even do that. Like a lot of people are like recreating, like or just recreating, rehashing, putting out what they already know, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I think there's people that I think there's a lot of people that do a good job with that. But the thing is, when you don't miss that execution mark, that's when fans start getting bored of it. Like for instance, like I'll put it like this: with like when people say like so and so and so and so is making the same song, I really think it wouldn't be a problem if the execution level wasn't just as high as before. Like they could rap the same song or rap about the same content over the same run the mill beats they usually rap over, and people could think it's great every single time. It's just like the execution matters. Like that's really all it is. Like so, like, and that's when people say like, oh, mainstream rap getting bored and everything like that. I think that's part of it. I think that the guys that y'all want these things out of, they got their niche down, but at the same time, the execution, once you heard what the greatest is, like the peak is for them, everything else after just kind of seems like, oh, they're making the same song, or like it's mediocre, everything like that. But like, it's gonna come to a point where like y'all gonna get tired of that, and like what boundary pushing music either comes back, or y'all kind of realize that everybody can't be the 1% of rap. Everybody can't be the Kendricks or the Drakes or the Futures. You get what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, and the thing is, there's no need to try to, like, let's say if you strike gold with a project, there's no need to try to recreate that, because it's difficult to put yourself back in the same mental space that you were in when creating that project. Like, art is designed to evolve, and we evolve as people. So as an artist, there's nothing wrong with listening to a project of your own and feeling like that was you at your best. You shouldn't be chasing that magic, trying to make it happen again. You should be, you kind of gotta put yourself first, make the music that you want to hear, even if it's different from something you've done before. Don't be afraid to make something that people not gonna like. Like it's okay. Like it's okay to piss some people off. Like I just don't want artists to limit themselves from making, because they don't want to make something that could be polarizing, because they don't want to lose nobody.
And the reality is, that's what makes it. That is one of the make or break points of what makes rap exciting. Like that's literally what it is. Like I'd much rather have. I say this, man. Like I'm hell bent on. I would much rather have an ambitious failure than the same thing, rehashing the same thing over and over and over, and the execution just falling flat, more and more flat. Because the genre only moves forward if people push it forward.
Right.
Like
this is
like, for instance, like I'll put it like this. and I hate using this example, like, because people gonna think like, oh, he on his nuts and everything like that. But it's just one of the greatest examples. Like the Kendrick, like he's one of the he. It's so easy. You can. I ain't gonna say he can easily recreate a Good Kid, Mad City, but people realize that certain things, time and place matters for like classic albums. Like that's literally part of why some certain things are classic. Like for instance, will people be calling U-Matic a classic if it drops like today in 2023 instead of in the 90s? No, they wouldn't have. They would just call it a good album and then just keep it moving. Because you know why? Like it matters. Like the circumstances and shit around certain album are what make them classic. Like moments. Like for instance, like when Kanye West, like with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, that album is not a classic. That album is definitely great. But what makes it even more of like a career defining and like generational piece of music is the press run, the Good Fridays, the shows that went with it, all this other stuff that make those albums memorable. And I feel like that's like a big part of making break classic albums. And it's just like you can't really expect y'all want to push the genre forward and y'all want to keep calling rap music boring right now and everything like that. But the niggas that are making the push, the niggas that are wanting to push the music forward and like push the boundaries, everything like that, y'all don't like the music. Y'all don't like. I don't want to. Don't get me wrong. I don't want people take this angle the wrong way. It doesn't mean like I hate certain lanes around, but like you can't have your cake and eat it too, man. Like that's just what it is.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah. I feel like I want the artists. I want the artists to be happy. So I want artists making music that they enjoy making. I don't want it to just be, oh, I'm making this because this is gonna sell. Because I feel like you sacrificing something when you do that. I feel like there's a part of yourself as an artist that you're missing out on. Like there's more that you can do. And I want all the artists to be open to doing whatever. Even if people not gonna rock with it, like, so what? You the creative. I want you to create.
Like you literally like that type of genre, the genre pushing music matters, bro. Like people don't think like people be like, oh, I ain't trying to get all that experiment shit, all that shit like that. Like it matters in terms of pushing the genre forward. When people call rap music boring, you can trace it back to that. Not necessarily like people being experimental, but like people like, okay, I've already heard this. Okay, this is cool, but like, I'm not saying like people gotta invent something new, but at the same time, there's no real like, you get what I'm saying? Like, there's no real like, what is pulling me into this album that I haven't seen before, or that it does so well compared to the artist's other stuff. Like it just don't. A lot of stuff. That's why I think people call that music boring. Like, and like I feel like it's very easy to scapegoat the people, the women are doing the whole lazy sampling thing, everything like that. Like, first of all, it ain't just them. And second of all, that ain't the problem at its core, because it's just people are sampling songs you don't like that you already know and grew up on.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. It's not just lazy sampling. It's, oh, this song I heard when I was in middle school or high school, somebody sampled and they did it lazy and they did it in a way that I really didn't like. That's the problem. Versus if it was a song that just somebody took the sample verbatim and nobody ever heard that sample or song before, and somebody did it today, and it was unnoticeable, nobody would care. Nobody would care.
If the song is hard, the song is hard. The problem isn't the sample. The problem is artists are making songs that you don't like, and you wanna blame everything else when we could just be straight up, and that's what it is.
The song's just ass, man. It's just ass. That's all it is.
Like it's okay to not like something. You don't like it. Like it's like I'm not getting into that, man. Like I could go on a whole tangent about that, man, but it's really just that simple. And like you said, the thing about artists experimenting, if you don't want to experiment, that is okay. If you want, I mean, I'm just saying what I want to see is if you want to do that, then do that. If you want to, stick with your formula because you know what works, that's fine too.
It's just that there are very big pros and cons to both. And people need to understand that it's pros and cons to both. And people really need to understand to the fact that you want to push the drama forward, but you don't really want to do what's, I say you want to push the drama forward, you don't really want to you really don't want to like I said, you can't have your cake and eat it too. That's my biggest thing. And that's part of the problem. And then on top of that, you want to do something, you want to have something without being able to do something to what it takes to get there. That's a big part of the problem too. Like people don't understand, like Future had to take a chance with this experimentation to get the Hendrix, to get the Wizard, to get these albums, you get the Evolve, all this other stuff. Like,
right. Even if you feel like one of them was a misstep here or there, it's just like I'm perfectly fine with letting the artist rock. If I don't like it, it's okay. Like I'm not gonna like everything.
I would take a respectable misstep or like respectable, ambitious dud any day of the week over an album that I have, over a rehash of an album that I've heard a million times already. And the niggas that y'all want to blame for like rap being boring, like aren't the niggas that really need to be blamed. It's the mainstream that ain't the superstars. That I feel like it's making rap boring. You got guys, and don't get me wrong, I like some of the music, but like you got guys that like really don't. I'm not saying like they don't make good music, but I'm saying at the same time, there's no like wow factor there. Like, okay, this dude is cool, but what's missing from it? Like, what is, if this dude was to leave the rap game today, what would somebody come in and easily replace him and then just be like, that's it? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like I'm gonna use this example, and I don't want people to take it the wrong way, but I feel like Young Nudie is the opposite of that. I feel like he's not super duper popular, but at the same time, he has a certain uniqueness to his music. I was like, and like charisma to his music. I'm like, okay, if he left today, a couple people will miss him. If he started rapping today, a couple people will miss him.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Pierre, like I say this, like Pierre Bourne, like I don't respect, don't get me wrong, I don't love a lot of his music, but I feel like if he was to start rapping today or start making music today, I feel like a lot of people would be like, okay, I kind of miss this dude music. Not saying like they make the best music to ever like grace the planet, but there's a certain type of level of uniqueness that they hit where other guys don't really hit. Like I honestly say like I don't believe in like oversaturation for like one particular artist. If the music is good, there's no problem. But I do believe like for subgenres, it matters. Like for example, I'll put it this way. Like I'm not trying to single them out, but like outside like Future and like like I would say like the Gunners, the Little Babies, the Roddy Riches, the Boston Richies, the Rod Waves, the Polo G's, and things of that nature. It's an oversaturated subgenre or oversaturated lane of music. Because it's not to say like there's guys that are good at their job, but it's just kind of like the selling point is the same for a lot of them. And that's the problem. Like if I listen to a Young Nudy album, I know what I'm gonna get, but I like it because I don't really get it anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like with a Pierre Bourne album, even if I don't like it, I know for a fact there's not too many people. Like I don't really. You get what I'm saying? Like it's
I'm with you.
Everybody, there's too many people trying to scratch the wrong. There's too many people trying to scratch the same itch. If that makes sense, and that's the problem. And like that's why like when people like had these dud albums, like for instance with Roddy Ricch, his last album, it was a dud. It can be seen hard to be. It can seem to be hard to bounce back from because you already have so many people trying to scratch the right itch, the different itch. Like for example, and I'll put it this way: Blue Bucks Clan, they scratch a right itch. Like I'm not going. I feel like there's definitely a need for like witty punchlines and funny bars, and I feel like, for example, Detroit rap, they're really one of the only subgenres I know that has a lot of people in it, but at the same time, they all scratch the same itch and they're all successful. Like, you get what I'm saying? I'm not saying Blue Bucks Clan was from Detroit; they're from California, but you get what I'm saying. Like,
right?
It's very dependent on the. You have to add like a little something like. You have to have like a different color. Like you have to add a little bit spice to whatever you're doing. Just like a little bit of uniqueness to make things happen. And like I feel like that's what the mainstream rap genre is missing.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But that is it I have for this episode. We hope you enjoyed that. I'm gonna mix it up with like a mix of older albums and more recent albums, so like we don't get too burnt out. Because it's easily to go down the list like, oh, let's talk about this classic album. Oh, let's talk about this classic album. I want to do a more unique twist on the music that I love to listen to. So other than that, we be easy, we out.